When the end of the camping season finally comes, these are the steps I take to winterize my roo and get it ready for what I hope will be a short winter's nap. The first thing I do is bypass the hot water tank so I can empty the tank and make sure no water can get into it. At this point, I've already emptied the black and gray tanks at the end of my last camping trip. I've also drained most of the fresh water tank. I can drain that again at home. I access the hot water system from the outside and make sure the power switch is turned off. I've already made sure the propane tanks are closed off. I open the water release valve and empty any water in that line. Be careful not to do this immediately after using the hot water heater, as the water could still be hot. It's been a couple of weeks since our last camping trip. Next, I'll use a 1 1/16 inch socket and an extra long socket wrench to loosen the anode, then unscrew it the rest of the way by hand. When the anode is removed, the tank will drain. After I bypass the lines running to the tank, I let the hot water faucets in the RV run until dry to empty the lines inside. After draining those lines, this is the water that's still left in the tank. You can see some of the corrosion and minerals that came off the anode rod in the water as the tank gets low. I didn't camp a full season this year, so I'll replace the same anode for now. Once the tank is fully drained, I'll make sure it's back in good and tight. I may install a new anode rod in the spring just to be safe. They're not expensive. The anode rod is designed to corrode so that the metal in your tank will not corrode. However, if the anode rod is too corroded, the metal in your tank will start to corrode. So I'll inspect the anode to make sure it has lots of life left in it. To be safe, it's recommended that you replace the anode each season. I waited for a nice rainy day to empty the fresh tank into the driveway. I didn't want someone to think I was emptying my gray or black tank into the street. Now you will definitely want to make sure that the freezer and refrigerator are emptied, cleaned, and dried. If any moisture is trapped inside all winter, you'll find mold and mildew in the spring. My Roo came with these handy clips that slide behind the handles to prevent the doors from closing all the way. Don't forget to fully charge your battery and check the charge with a gauge or meter before disconnecting. You don't want to keep the battery outside all winter, or it may lose its ability to charge efficiently. Before I bring it inside, I'll use it for one last task, to power my air compressor. I bought an inexpensive air compressor on Amazon for $59. It's best to get one that has a double cylinder like mine. This one even came with a handy hard-sided storage case, and I can use it to inflate tires on the truck or RV, or even bicycles, toys, or camping mattresses. Today I'll use mine to pressurize the water lines and blow out any water that's in the lines between the city water hookup and each faucet in and around the RV. You'll need a special adapter to connect to the city water inlets that has the correct type of connector that will mate with your air compressor. You can find one of these for under $10. Don't forget I'll have links to all of these products in the video description. Make sure all of the faucets are closed and power up the air compressor to about 35 psi. Then, one by one, turn on each cold water faucet in the RV and let the pressure blow out any remaining water in the lines. You may need to turn off the faucet and let the pressure build for a few seconds before opening back up. Do this until only air comes out of the faucet. Don't let the air compressor remain on for too long though, or it may cause damage to the compressor. I turned mine off and let it rest in between faucets. Oh, and don't forget about your outdoor kitchen and shower faucets. At this point, all lines will be emptied of water that would otherwise be able to freeze and expand during the winter, potentially harming the lines. By doing this, it may not be necessary to fill all the lines with antifreeze. Some people still do that anyway, depends on your climate and how long it consistently remains below freezing in your area. I opened the fresh tank one last time to empty any remaining water that may have settled into the drain. Even if you don't pump antifreeze into your lines, you should still pour a little down each drain to displace any remaining water that's left in the traps. Some additional antifreeze will spill into the gray tank at this point, and it'll help protect it as well. The last step in winterizing the RV is to install a protective cover that's appropriate for your climate region. In my region, we get very strong winds and a lot of snow in the winter, so I need a heavy-duty cover that's wind-resistant and has multiple protective layers, including a Tyvek roof layer that will support the extra weight of the snow and prevent any melting runoff from leaking onto the roof. The ADCO Designer Series is highly rated as the best on the market. It even comes with protective wheel covers and covers for the downspouts, so it will prevent damage to the cover material during strong winds. These go on first. The wheel covers tighten in the back around the bottom of the wheel. The downspout covers just slide over and tie at the base on all four corners of the RV. I unroll the cover onto the driveway next to the RV to make sure the Tyvek side is up and to make sure that the front and rear are facing the right direction, so I have the correct orientation when I get up on the roof. I roll it up a bit so that I can carry the front end up the ladder, get on the roof, and pull the remaining material up with me. Once up on the roof, the most important and challenging task is to align the cover perfectly in the center so that the sides can fall over the edge. Once all the sides are down, it will be difficult to adjust. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as putting a tablecloth over a table, but with careful planning and execution, you can easily do it yourself and do a great job. Lastly, the buckles and ties are tightened around the underneath of the RV to keep the material formed to the shape of the camper and secure it against the wind. Now my RV is ready for safe storage for the winter, and I won't have to worry about whatever storms old man winter decides to conjure up and send my way. It's time to sit back and relax inside by the fire and plan next year's camping adventures. Thanks so much for watching and supporting our first season of RooVentures here on YouTube. I'll see you again very soon with a brand new season of RV adventures, maintenance and upgrades, campsite and product reviews, and so much more. My next adventure will be planning a late winter, early spring cross-country solo trip. If you're interested in following along, don't forget to subscribe and make sure the notification bell icon is activated. I'll see you all next time on My RooVentures.